Good morning. This is a challenge, but it's a little different kind of a challenge. All I'm going to do here is kind of say, this is the way I work my Q image, this is the way I use it, this is the way I love it. And if yours is different, and it probably will be, your method, then let's hear from you and why. Anyway, I'm going to read this. I printed it out because it just sounds a little better if you read it. This is a hobby for me. That means I'm probably fussier with the quality of my prints than a printing company churning out graduation pictures. This perhaps is a fact, though. This is my approach that makes me comfortable creating my prints. It certainly isn't meant to imply that it's the only way or the best way. There are many ways to use all software, but this is mine. Okay, that's said and done. Let's get into this and tell you some of the things I do and why. Okay, hang in, we'll be right with you. Okay, first thing I want to show you is that when my Q image opens, I prefer having printers and settings. I know a lot of people have mentioned on the forum that they prefer this. Okay, I prefer printers and settings. My reasons, well, first of all, my presets, my padlock, that's up here in the top left corner, is set up so that when I open QImage, this is the automatic setting. So I've got Canon Pro 100 printer, I've got the semi-gloss paper, I've got the 8.5 by 11 size, I've got the proper profile, the driver is set properly, and I'm all set to go on that particular kind of paper. And I just double check it, that's all. But there's another couple of reasons why I like to do it this way. For example, let's assume that for the moment here, I'll go right here. That was an accident. You know that. I hit it too fast. All right, let's say for the moment that I have a couple of DVDs I made for friends who have home videos and they like to sing on their DVDs and stuff like that. Okay, well, I would go right here to this little yellow folder and I'd go to Jobs because that's where I saved it. And here's my round DVD label. Okay, and there we are. Now I use round DVD printing paper with it's got gummy on it and it puts the label right on the DVD. So all I really have to do is grab a hold of this guy, drag him here, grab a hold of this guy, drag him over here. I can go into here and put words on it very simply, right, with floating text and so on. I've finished my job. Okay, so that's one of the reasons it's nice to have this screen open. All right, let's reset ourselves. Take a second, and we'll reset back to normal. Okay, restart session, and there we are, back to normal. Okay, another thing I'd like to do also is I'm going to print something today. Okay, well, what size am I going to print? Well, the easy way to do this now is not so much get in here and change the size, but back to this yellow folder again. I think I'm going to make a 12 by 16 on 13 by 19 paper. So I pick a luster or whatever I feel like picking. It's already preset. Open. Bingo. Same printer. This time it's got luster paper, 13 by 19. I've got the proper profile here. Everything is set. Even the driver is set. You see luster paper here. You see 13 by 19 here. Everything is set properly with one click. Okay, and that's the easy way to get to it. Okay, hang on a sec and we'll move on. Okay, now what I've done here is I've just switched folders. Okay, because a couple of points I want to make with you. There's been a whole lot of talk about how long it takes to create the cache and the thumbnails. Okay, well, I'm going to pick out just 4 here, just for the heck of it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, because we're on a video and I don't want it to take forever. So now I'm going to say rebuild selected thumbs. Now the point here is that it's going to take a few seconds. It's going to take, now it's not done because this yellow thing has to change back to normal. But what it's doing is it's developing your pictures. It's setting them up. It's making them almost perfect or perfect. It isn't just wasting time building thumbs. That's not the point. The point is that it's actually doing work. Okay? Okay, now these are done. As you can see, the yellow is gone. Okay? Now, I just want you to thumb through this thing with me a little bit. Anything that doesn't have purple has not been touched. Okay, now just look at these pictures. Okay, Qimage has developed these. Qimage did it all by itself. Sometimes I need a little touch up, maybe a shade brighter, a little tick darker or something like that. Then I'll purple it or do something in the refine screen is what I'm saying. Now here's two almost identical images. They are actually identical. They're, they're beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And they haven't been touched, okay? This is red because I probably cropped something or leveled something, but you can see how many are not touched. Okay, now if I just wanted to spacebar this, okay, and do this, I'm rolling the mouse wheel. Qimage did this. It took a raw image and made this. So it isn't just sitting there wasting your time. And when you start to moan about that on the forum, it kind of makes my toes curl, to be perfectly honest with you. But this is what Qimage does, and absolutely perfectly. Okay, let's just see what I did here, just for the sake of looking. Okay, what does it say? Well, it says here, according to these two brackets, I did a white balance. Okay, and I also did an ODR, okay, the optimum detail thing. And I wanted just the right shade in here. So I did a little yellow box and I played with it. That's all. Could have done without it, okay? But I just wanted you to see how little was done with it. Okay, let's move on to the next point I want to make. Okay, I switched folders on you again, that's all. All right, now we're going to talk about borders. I kind of like borders as long as you don't overdo it, take away the eye from the picture to look at the border. But I kind of like it, okay? So I'm going to stick a couple of pictures in here just for the heck of it. Okay, that's one. Doesn't make any difference which ones. Here's two. And here's three. Okay, there's three pictures. Now, if you notice got a big white thing over there, that's because generally when I set up my preset, I have the crop scissor off. I can always turn it on. That's not the point. The point is that when I'm doing cropping in the editor, I crop by eye. I'm looking for the best feel I get from the picture. So I do it in the editor, I leave the crop off, and then later on, I'll turn it on if I need to, or I'll go into print cropping and set that up. Either way. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Well, right now, what I'm going to do is put some borders on here. Okay, now the easiest way to do this, frankly, is to go into the print screen, and first thing I do is select all. Okay, now all three is selected. So whatever I do here, I'm going to take a 3/100 of an inch white and a 9/100 of an inch in black. And there we are. Okay. Now also it's set for just regular B because I want to shrink the picture and not make the border bigger than 8 by 10. Okay. That's the whole point of it. Okay. Now let's see what we got. Well, we got a border on that one, a border on that one, and a border on that one. I did it all three at one time. Okay. You got the idea? Now, supposing just supposing I decided, let's see, select all and change the size to 5 by 7. Well, that doesn't have the crop scissor on. Okay, let's turn it on just to make it easier. Okay, there's 5 by 7. Okay, and there's 5 by 7. The border size changed with the print size. Okay, now that's important. You don't have to fuss with it. The border size changed with the print size. Okay, so we're back to here, and here, and here. All right, let's move on and do some more stuff, because that's what I do, stuff. Okay, we're gonna delete a couple of these things here, so we end up with one picture. Okay, just one in the queue. Now, supposing I wanted to make this one here for a tabletop, and I want to make a big one to hang on the wall. Okay, so the point I'm trying to make here is you don't go ahead and try to make this 12 by 16, because it's going to say to you, "Oop, it isn't going to fit. What do you want to do? Make 2 pictures, 3 pages, 4 pages, or you want it just to fit as best we can?" That's what it's going to do. Okay, yeah, see it? That's what it's going to do. We don't want to do that. It's a pain in the neck. Okay, so what we want to do is change the paper size first. So back here we go, back here, and let's pick something nice. Here's A3, okay? You guys like A3? And there we are. Now I can select my picture, which shows you the red little dots in the corner. Now I go to print sizes, and now I say 11 by 14. And there we are, okay? That's much easier than doing it the other way and having to redo it after you change the page size, paper size. So all these little things are just make it easier and nicer and more comfortable for me. Okay, hang in there. Okay, we're going to tackle another little situation. Okay, we just unloaded these pictures from my compact flash card. They're in this folder, and they built the thumbnails and the cache, and this is what I got. Okay, well, how good are they? Are they worth keeping? Are they worth printing? Or which ones should I give the grade A marks and which ones get the F, and so on and so forth? Here's an F right here. They missed the focus, that's all. It went to this instead of this. Happens to all of us. Okay, so here's the different ways you can approach this. One way, for example, is to hit this button here. This is basically select all. Okay, hit this button here, plus, puts them all in the queue. Okay, right click and say slideshow. Okay, and there you go. Now, as this thing is progressing, you can see, I like that, or I don't like that, or I like that, or I don't like that. But the numbers are up in the upper left-hand corner, and you can easily jot down the numbers of something you really like a whole lot. Okay? You don't have to go through all these pictures, but you can see it's a nice little tool and let it loop. If you're not sure, let it go through a second time or a third time until you're satisfied that you picked the very best. Okay? All right, we shut that down. Clear the queue. All right. Now another way is to take a few of these pictures, and you can use this guy. Okay. Add to queue. If you want, take it out. You can use this guy, which is preview add to queue. And here it gives you a little more versatility. You can just say next, and next, and next, and next, until you find one you like, and you say add to queue. Okay? Well, right now I got too many in here. Let's take them out. Clear queue. Okay, you can just say add to queue. So you got one in there. Next, next. I like that one. Add to queue. Okay? At the same time, you can give it a rating. Okay, like that. Okay, you got the idea? Add to queue. Close it. And now you've got the ones you like the best are in the queue by previewing. Okay, and very, very nice here. The thumbnails are checked because we've selected them. That's all. Doesn't mean a thing. Okay, let's move on and tackle another situation. Okay? Okay, here's another interesting way to tackle this. I switched folders on you again while you were sleeping. Okay, here we go. Now, we want to know which shots look the best, okay? So what we can do here is take a bunch. 1, 2, I'm holding the control key down. 3, 4, just something interesting, that's all. 6, I'm just going to take just another 2 here someplace. All right, let's take these 2. Okay, now all I'm going to do is say best shot selector. Okay, that gives me a split screen, and here comes a couple of pictures. Okay, give it a chance. Okay, now I'm going to right click and say lock. So this way, if I move something up or down, they both move together. And I'm going to, I can either zoom in or I can rotate my mouse wheel. Okay, now look at these 2 pictures and say, which one do I like better? Okay, just for the sake of moving along, I'm going to say this one. I click the little check mark up in the right hand side, and that stays. And now this one comes in. Nah, not crazy about that. So I still click my little green check mark, and that's going to replace that one. Oh, that's pretty nice. I'm going to click on this check mark. Okay, and now that side got replaced. Now, I still like this one better. So I click on that again, and that one came in. Like that one better? It's pretty nice. I'll take it. Okay, and we keep on doing that. Nah, too far away. Can't make out too much. Okay, and we got that one. That's pretty nice. I'm going to take this, and you know what? That's the last man standing. So best shot selector selected this guy as the best shot of the ones we looked at, of course. And that one will have a check mark. There it is, and a selection. Okay, that's another way to go through and decide which ones you want to print and which ones you want to toss. Okay, hang on now. Okay, here's another little trick. A lot of times I end up with, let's say, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 shots in the queue like this, and I decide I put borders on, don't put, doesn't make a difference. I decide I want to print, but I just want to print 1 and see how it looks on a certain kind of paper. Well, I got 5 in the queue. If I click print, it's going to try and print 5. But here's a little trick. Maybe you all know it, maybe you don't, I don't know. So what I'm going to do here is pick the one I want to print for a test, like that one. Double click there and go into the print editor. Okay, and here I can put words on it, annotate the bottom, put floating text, or leave it alone. Okay, anything I want to do. But the point is, this says print page. Over on the lower right hand corner, look at my cursor. Print page. That means with the 4 or 5 images in the queue, it's only going to print the one it sees, and that's this one. So that's a neat way of printing one page without having to remove from the queue, put it back in the queue, and all that kind of good stuff. Okay, that's another little thing I use quite often, and let's move on. Okie dokie. There is a little pothole I want to point out, because it's interesting. It saves you a lot of wondering, what did I do wrong stuff, okay? Well, let's say I need a border on this picture. I showed you how to do it, the proper way, which is using the border thing on the right, or else using the one that's in prints over here, and you put in your border, okay? That's a real border. But the other way to do it is with a mat. Okay? Now here's the thing I want to point out, the pothole. I can say add a photo mat. Easy. Let's put in a 900ths black. Okay? So we're going to put it on, and there it is. Okay? Like that. Now here's the point I'm going to make. If I want to add floating text, okay, which is no problem, I do that. Now, looking at this screen, you have a couple of options here. See, it says selected print, prints on current page. That would be if you had 4 or 5 smaller prints, and all prints in the queue. Okay. Now, if you do all prints in the queue, what happens is the program Qimage sees the picture and it sees the mat underneath as another picture. So you end up with doubles. You see the doubles here? So you don't do that. You just don't do that, that's all. You either use it singly or use the other way of doing borders. That was Control Z to erase that, okay? So that we can go ahead and say add floating text, okay? Photo by Marilyn, hit it, and everything's fine. Okay? You can put the border on later if you want. So all these little tricks you learn, and that's the way you have to do it. Okay, let's move on, see if there's anything else we need to do. That's Control Z again, see, clean it off. Okay, back we go, and let's see what else we got for you. Okay, last item I want to cover is either you've got a request for a duplicate print, or I like that, I'd love to have another copy for my daughter, or whatever the reason, but you want to go back and find the print that you made that everybody liked, and you want to make an exact duplicate, exact copy of that. Well, you go into your auto job log and start scrolling around until you find the job. Now this one here had 6 prints made at one time. In other words, I printed 6 8x10s at the same time. That's the one they want. That's the one I'm going to click. Click open, job, and there it is. So I've got all these pictures, okay? I've got 6 of them, like that. And I'm going to be able to repeat. I've got my borders, I've got my signatures, I've got everything ready to go, and I can go ahead and repeat this and just click print. If I just want to print one of them, fine. Just delete the ones you don't want and save the one you do want, or just select it and then say, oh, where is that? New session with selected, okay? You just want one. Well, there you are. You got one. Simple as that. Okay, so we're set to go. I think we're good. All the rest are gone. You can see the borders came in with it. Everything is all set. Everything is good. Can't beat it. Okay, folks, I hope I stirred some juices and make you think of what you like to do and all that kind of good stuff. And we'll see you next time, and hope you make some comments, good or bad. Okay, and thank you very much for listening.